Am I audible, students? I'll just wait for another 5 to 10 minutes and see whether the students they join or not. Yeah, am I audible? Am I audible now? All right. A very warm good morning to all of you. My name is Jayashree Deka, and I work in Assam Downtown University as a soft skills trainer. So I welcome all the students of the first year to Assam Downtown University. Hopefully, we can meet soon, but till then, we have to just deal with this online sessions and online classes. I hope you all are doing fine. So, today I will be talking about personality development and dressing etiquette. So, in the last two sessions, Ronit sir had already told you what is soft skills and told you and explained you the different aspects of soft skills. So, personality development is also related to the soft skills, and today I am going to talk about personality and how to develop your personality. I'm sure all of you have heard this word personality. Have you heard the word personality? So according to you, what is personality? Can you write down in the comment box? According to you, what is personality? So generally what we say that like I like the personality of that person, I don't like the personality of the person. He has a good personality, she has a good personality, isn't it? So how do you consider a personality to be a good or a bad personality? When do you like someone? When do you say that his personality is good, I like his personality? So can you tell me what is personality? Yes, I see one answer. Characteristics of an individual. Yes, Shanti. Shanti, you're correct. Zahir says that the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. Yes, absolutely, you're right. Our unique character. Okay, right. All right. So, yes, Muskan, you're right. Personality is like what we do and how we act. Then I see another answer. Maybe the way of expressing ourselves. Yes, that is also correct. So you all have, you all have an idea about personality and what is personality. So let's start. I am sharing my screen. Just let me know. So I hope all of you can see the screen. So let's start. So first of all, I want to tell you what are you going to gain from this session. So you must know that when you are attending a session, you must know what will you earn, what will you gain from the session. So I have listed out few things, and these are the particular things that you will learn from this session, and this session is going to help you to in doing these things. So as you can see, the first point that I have mentioned is get an understanding about your unique personality. So by the end of the session, you will understand about your own personality. You'll understand that we are all unique and we are all special in our own ways. So you'll get an understanding about your own personality. Then the next point is the ability to figure out our responsiveness to different situations and people. So you will understand your ability to respond to different situations and people. So we as human beings, we respond to different situations and different people in different ways, isn't it? So it depends upon our emotions, it depends upon our attitude. So you will understand what kind of an attitude do you carry and what is your ability to figure out your responsiveness towards different situations. Next is means to positively apply our unique traits in any given situation. So we have different qualities, isn't it? We have a lot of qualities. We have certain good habits, we have certain bad habits, and so we need to understand how to apply our special qualities in any given situation, in any circumstances. So you are going to understand how you're supposed to apply your qualities in any circumstance. The fourth point is we'll stop emulating and make a conscious effort to be ourselves. So what we do is we always keep on thinking and copying, and we always complain about ourselves. So we have a lot of complaints about ourselves, we compare ourselves with others, and we want to become like somebody else. So that should not be the situation. You are special in your own ways. So you will learn how to become yourself. So these are the four things that you'll basically gain from this session. So I will be back to these four things after I finish everything and ask you whether you have actually gained these four things from the session or not. Now let's move on to the next slide. What is personality? So I have seen, when I asked a question, I have seen a lot of you have answered that, it's the way we act. It's about our characteristics. Yes, you're correct. So personality is basically the qualities of a person, the way we, think, the way we behave. It's related to our feelings, which makes every person, every individual special. Okay, we are all unique in our own ways, and we have different opinions, we have different habits, we have different choices, and that's what makes us unique, and that's what is known as personality. All right, so basically the way we behave, the way we think, the way we provide our opinions, that is what personality is. Our food habits, our way of dressing, the way we communicate with people, the way we interact with people, that's what personality is. Whatever we do in our day-to-day life, everything is related to personality. The way we sit, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we eat, the choice of our clothing, the choice of our cuisines. So these all are related to our personality. Moving on, As I had said that we all are unique. So I want to say why we all are unique. We all come in different shapes and sizes. Yeah, we have different shapes and sizes, isn't it? Some of us are fat, some of us are thin, some of us are average, some of us are tall, some of us are, short. It doesn't matter. We all come in different shapes and sizes, and we are unique in our own ways. Next is we have different strengths and weaknesses. Definitely, we all have different types of strengths and different weaknesses, and it differs from one another, our strengths and weaknesses. So, what might be a strength for me might not be a strength for you. So, that is why it differs from person to person, and we are human beings, and we cannot deny the fact that we have weaknesses. We definitely have certain weaknesses and also certain strengths, and that make us unique. These strengths, these weaknesses, these things makes us unique. Our shape, our size, it makes us unique, and we need to accept the fact. We need to accept ourselves, we need to accept our shape, our size, and we need to learn to be happy, because we all are special. Again, I'm repeating, we all are special. What's right for one person may not be right for another person. Yes, so what is right for me might not be right for you, because that might not work for you. What is working for me, that might not work for you. So that is why we might have different choices. So that makes us unique, that makes us, special. Then there are things that are important to me which you don't care about at all. Of course, there might be things which are, very close to me, and I treasure them, but for you those things might be, like, not at all important. It's because of our different choices, different needs, different ones, and these things overall, our different shape, our different size, our different strengths and weaknesses, our different choices, our different habits, this things these things make us unique and different from one another. We all are different from one another. We have different characteristics, as I had already said. We have different habits, and we can be similar at times, but we cannot be same. Even twins, they can have similar choices, similar ways of thinking, similar opinions, but we are never the same. Now these two words, similar and same, are two different words with two different meanings. Similar is something which is, it might, uh, it's not the same, but it's a little, relatable. But same is the Xerox copy. When we Xerox a paper, when we photostate a paper, when we use the Xerox machine to photostate a paper, then we get the exact copy, isn't it? But similar is something that is not the same, but it is closely related. So we might have similar choices, we might be similar to, a lot of things, to a lot of people. We might have similar choices, then I might say that my sister is, kind of similar, and she has similar choices and she has similar opinions, but we cannot be same. We can never be same, because we all are different individuals. Moving ahead, so personality has several components, and I have listed out three. As you can see on the screen, I have listed out three components: temperament, environment, and character. Now let us see what is temperament, what is environment, and what is character, and how personality is related to all these terms. Okay, now let's see temperament. So, temperament is the set of genetically determined traits that determine the child's approach to the world and how the child learns about the world. Okay, now it's something genetic. Temperament is a set of genetic qualities, that determines a child's, way of learning things, that determines a child's behavior. So as a child, he or she is unaware about the world. He or she is unaware about the, you know, good, positive and the negative side of the world. So now how a child learns, how the child also has a personality, and that personality is because of the temperament, that is because of some of the genetic qualities that he or she has gained from his or her parents. All right. Next is environment. So environment is another very important factor which plays an important role in building our personality. So the environment we live in, that is one of the most important part of our life. It will basically affect our personality. It will basically have an impact on our personality. So a villager and a person who stays in a city will have two different personalities. Why? Because the villager has a different environment. The villager lives in a village. He has lived all his life in a different environment, whereas a person who belongs to the city, who stays in a city, he has lived all his life in a city. So that is why the villager and the person who stays in the city will definitely have two different personalities. This is because of the environment. So environment plays a very important role in building our personality. Next is character. Now this is the third component of personality, and it is the emotional behavior. The behavioral patterns of a person is known as the character. Now this can be learned from experiences. This can be this can be determined how how a person thinks, feels and behaves. And this can be learned from the experiences that the person has been through, or the environment he or she has lived in. So it depends upon the environment, the people he or she meets. It also depends upon the like experiences. If a person has good experiences, then definitely he will be an optimistic person, and a person who has always had bad experiences life, he won't be optimistic, he won't be an optimistic person, isn't it? He will that person who has always seen negativity in life, so that person will be depressed. That person will have a negative approach towards life. That person will not have a positive way of thinking or leading life. So that is why our experiences, the people we meet, the environment we live in, so these things forms our personality. And that's what character is, our the set of emotions, the set of emotional, cognitive and behavioral patterns learned from experiences. It determines how a person thinks, how a person feels and how a person behaves. So if I am a person who is a very happy person, when you see me, you find me always smiling, laughing, and I'm always happy and I'm spreading happiness. That's because I have I the dreams, I have everything in my life. That's because I have fulfilled my dreams. I have all the necessary things and I'm happy in my life, and I live in that kind of an environment. I live with that kind of people, and my experiences in life are good, because that is why I am a happy person. And if I am a sad person, you see me always depressed and frustrated, then that means that is related to certain experiences, that is related to the environment, and that creates our personality. So the three components of personality: temperament, which is the genetic characteristic, then the environment where you live in, then character, the emotional, cognitive, and behavioral patterns. These three components build a personality of a person. The way a person talks, the way a person behaves, the way a person feels, it is totally dependent upon these three components. I hope I'm clear. So moving ahead, Types of personality. Now, if you will type this on Google, types of personality, so you'll get many personalities, many different types of personalities, and of course, it exists. It's not that Google is giving you wrong information, it definitely exists, but I am going to particularly talk about three personalities: introvert, extrovert, and ambivert. So, every other personality that you come across is a is directly or indirectly related to either introvert personality or extrovert personality, and I'm going to talk about ambivert as well. So ambivert is a combination of both introvert and extrovert personality. So basically, there are three types of personality. Mainly, there are three types of personality: introvert, extrovert, and ambivert. And I'm sure you have heard about introvert personality, extrovert personality, and some of you might have heard about ambivert personality as well. And for some of you, it might be a new term. So let's see what is introvert, what is extrovert, and what is ambivert personality. So, are you an introvert? How will you figure it out? Are you an introvert, or are you an extrovert, or are you an ambivert? How are you supposed to figure it out? How will you know that you are an introvert? So, these are some of the qualities of an introvert. So, the first point is they have quiet energy. So, they do not look energetic, they are not that active, so they are quiet, they are calm. So if you are someone who likes to be quiet, who is a calm person, who likes to stay away from people, then yes, you are an introvert. The next is you are someone who likes to listen, and you don't prefer being the speaker, and you like to be the listener, then you are an introvert because you don't feel comfortable, to talk, whereas you are comfortable to listen. Next is think quietly inside head. So you are someone who is not at all expressive, you are an inexpressive, and you will, if you have, something, then you'll just quietly think and you won't express. So then you are an introvert. If you just think and you don't express, then you are an introvert. If you are someone who will first think and then act, so introverts are someone who takes decision, uh, takes who can take correct decision, and who first of all thinks and then takes a decision and then acts. So it'll be someone who thinks. If you are someone who thinks first, who think and then act, there are people who act and then think. So if you're someone who think and then act, then you might be an introvert. Next is feel comfortable being alone. So if you are too comfortable being alone, if you do not feel comfortable in the crowd, if you do not feel like meeting people, if you like to stay at your own room, then you are an introvert. Next is prefer to work behind the scenes. So if you are someone who does not want to interact with people, and you prefer to stay behind the scenes, that means you do not want to directly face the person. It'll be comfortable in sitting at one corner of the office and working on the laptop or the desktop, or working with files. You'll be happy to do that, but you're not made for the front desk, you're not made for those kind of jobs where you need to communicate. Then you are an introvert. If you do not feel comfortable to interact with people, to meet new people, and prefer to stay behind the scenes, and prefer to stay away from people and work quietly in one corner, then you are an introvert. Next is have good powers of concentration. So if you are good in concentrating, so introverts have a very good power of concentration, because they are the person who will think and then act, and they just prefer thinking quietly. So that means the introverts have a good power of concentration. So if you are an introvert, then definitely you are going to have great concentrating powers. Next is prefer to focus on one thing at a time. So you are someone who is not in a hurry. So you will finish one thing, then move on to the next. So if you are an introvert, then you will have these particular qualities, these qualities. So the first and one of the most common quality of an introvert is they don't like to talk to people, they don't like to interact with people, they prefer to stay alone and the others will just follow. All right, so if you are an introvert, then you'll have these qualities. So now you figure out, are you an introvert? You can just ask yourself this question, and you can just see that whether you are an introvert or not. Moving ahead, now, are you an extrovert? So how will you come to know whether you are an extrovert or you are an introvert? So I had already said, I had already listed the qualities of an introvert. So if you have those qualities, then you are an introvert. Now let's see what are the qualities of an extrovert. All right. So extroverts have high energy. So you will be energetic all the time. Will be active all the time. So if you have high energy, that means you are an extrovert. Next is talk more than listen. So you are someone who doesn't prefer to listen, who is not a good listener, and who prefers to speak, who is a good speaker. Then you are an extrovert who likes to talk, who likes to express. Then you are an extrovert. Third is think out loud. So whenever you'll think something, you'll also express that. So introverts, they'll just think and they won't express. They'll just think and that will be in their mind. They'll sit in one corner, think quietly. But if you are an extrovert, you'll express whatever you are thinking. Then the next point is act then think. So introverts are someone who will first think and then act. Now extroverts are someone who have high energy, who are very active. So what they do is they first of all they will act and then they think. So this might create certain problems sometimes. So we should always think at first and then act. So but extroverts are someone who will do the thing and then they'll think like, what did I do? Was it a good decision? I should have done it or I should have not. So extroverts are someone who will do and later on think. The next point is like to be around people a lot. So extroverts are someone who they don't like to stay alone. They always like to stay around people. They like to meet new people. They want to stay with people. They want to interact with people. And if you are an extrovert, then you'll have the same quality. You'll like to be around people. You will not like to stay alone because you need to talk, you need to express, because you are very active, because you have high energy. So that's why you will definitely like to stay around people. So if you are an extrovert, so you'll have this quality. Then prefer a public role. So introverts are someone who prefer to stay behind the scenes because they are too shy, but extroverts are active, they have high energy, they like to interact with people, so they prefer a public role where they can interact with people on a regular basis. They cannot sit at one corner of the office all day. They cannot do that. They have to interact with people because their nature is like that, because they are someone who likes to interact with people, who likes to talk, who likes to be around people. So that is why they will always prefer a job, a role that gives them the opportunity to interact with people. Next is can sometimes be easily distracted. Now extroverts are someone, they can be easily distracted sometimes. Why I'm telling you? Because they act first and then they think later on. So that is why they can be distracted. If you say something to an extrovert, so the extrovert might do it. Why? Because an extrovert always acts at first and then think later. So that is why sometimes extroverts are distracted from the actual path. Then the next point is prefer to do lots of things at once. So they have high energy. So that is why they want to do a lot of things. They'll involve themselves in a lot of things. Introverts are someone who prefers to do, like one after the other. So they will be always like, I'll finish this task and then I'll start the task, next task after I finish this task, one after the other, in a systematic manner. But extroverts are someone who prefers to do a lot of things at the same time. They'll be someone who will do this, do that, and they will involve themselves in a lot of activities. So if you are an extrovert, now you can think, if you have these qualities, then you are an extrovert. If you are someone who likes to interact with people, if you are someone who cannot stay alone, if you are someone who takes decisions abruptly, if you're someone who acts and then later on thinks, if you are someone who want to do such kind of a job which involves a lot of interactions with people, which involves meeting new people, if you are someone who can be easily distracted, if you are someone who prefers to talk more and listen less, then you are an extrovert. So you can think whether you are an introvert or whether you are an extrovert. Moving ahead, now ambivert. So the third type of personality is ambivert personality. So are you an ambivert? How will you know are you an ambivert? First of all, let me tell you what is ambivert. Ambivert is a mixture of introvert and extrovert personality. So if you are an ambivert, you will have qualities of both extrovert and ambivert personality. So that means you might be you might feel comfortable in interacting with people at times, and sometimes you might not feel comfortable. Sometimes you might like to stay alone, and sometimes you might like to stay with a lot of people. Sometimes you might be a person who can understand, and sometimes you might be a person who enjoys a party, who who likes to do party and stay with people. So ambivert is a mixture of both the personalities, extrovert personality and introvert personality. So if you are an ambivert, then you will have both the qualities of extrovert and ambivert. So let us see. You are a good listener and communicator. Extroverts prefer to talk more and introverts like to observe and listen. Now see, you are a good listener and a communicator as well. So what are introverts? Introverts are good listeners, whereas extroverts are good speakers. Now, introverts are not good speakers and extroverts are not good listeners. Now, if you are an ambivert, you will be good in doing both the things. So you will also be a good listener, you'll also be a good speaker. So basically, if you are that, then you are an ambivert. So if you like to listen and if you also like to talk, if you're a good listener as well as you're a good speaker, then you can be an ambivert. All right, next up is you have an ability to regulate behavior. So this is, you can change your behavior according to the situations. All right, so extroverts are very high on energy, and sometimes it is not necessary. So depending upon the situation, you can change your attitude and behavior, and it totally depends upon the situation. You have a control on how you behave because you have qualities of both an extrovert and introvert. So you know where to behave, when where to behave in what way. So you'll have a clear understanding about that. Next is you feel comfortable in social settings but also value your alone time. So now extroverts are someone who likes to stay with people, who are comfortable in social settings, but introverts are not comfortable in social settings. Whereas on the other hand, introverts like to stay alone, and extroverts, they don't like to stay alone, they like to stay with people. Now if you are an ambivert, so you'll enjoy both the situations, like you'll feel comfortable in social environment, and you also like to spend time with yourself, you also like to spend alone time. So if you have both these qualities, if you sometimes like to be in social settings and sometimes you prefer alone time, then you are an ambivert. Next is empathy comes naturally to you. So you understand the emotions and feelings of other people. So you are someone who will be empathetic towards people. You can understand the situation, you can understand the person's emotions, whatever the person is trying to say you can understand the person's situations, you'll try to understand. So you are someone who is empathetic and who understands, people, who understands everything that is happening. So then you can be an ambivert. The next point is you are able to provide balance. Now you are someone who is a balanced person because you are a combination of both the personalities, introvert and extrovert. So you're not extreme, you're not extremely shy, you're not extremely, someone who always likes to, party and all. So you can balance your life, you're a balanced person. So mainly most of us are ambiverts, all right? So generally we people are ambiverts because, sometimes we are good communicators, and sometimes we just like to listen, and we just like to stay alone. Sometimes we like to stay with people, sometimes we feel comfortable in social settings, and sometimes we also prefer to stay alone. It depends upon the people, it depends upon the situation, and our behavior keeps on changing according to that. So basically most of us are ambiverts. So it's, some of us are introvert, some of us are extrovert as well, and according to me most of us are ambivert because we all have certain qualities of an extrovert and an introvert. So that is why uh, I think that most of us are ambivert, whereas some of them can be totally extrovert and some of them can be totally introvert. So I hope I am clear with this: extrovert, introvert, and ambivert. So now you have to figure it out. I have listed out all the qualities of an extrovert, of an introvert, and if you are a combination of both, then you are an ambivert. Now you have to think, you have to analyze, and you have to figure out what is your personality. Are you an extrovert? Are you an ambivert? Or are you an introvert? All right. Moving ahead. Now, what is personality development? So, personality development is basically the process of developing and enhancing our own personality. So, when we develop certain skills, when we work on our life skills, we can develop our personality. It's basically a process of enhancing our personality. It's basically a process of developing ourselves. So as I had mentioned earlier that our personality has three components, isn't it? Genetic, environment, and the last one was uh, character, that is the emotions, the behavioral patterns of a person. So now personality is not something that is rigid. Okay, some of the factors that remain the same throughout our life, but a lot of things are, we can change a lot of things in our life. So it's not something that is rigid, it is flexible. So it depends upon us, it depends upon you and me, how I want to live my life, whether I want to change myself or I'm happy with the current situation. So whether I want to learn something new, whether I want to gain something, whether I want to develop a new skill, learn a new thing. So it depends upon me, it depends upon you, whether you want to enhance your personality or not, whether you want to develop your personality or not. So personality development, it's basically it helps to gain confidence, and it develops to it also helps to grow our confidence, as well as develops and helps an individual to gain high self-esteem. And what is self-esteem? When you trust yourself, when you accept yourself, that is self-esteem. When you rely on yourself, when you are happy with the way you are. So Personality development is a very important part of our life. We all need to, and we all should develop our personality, because we need to do it. Why we need to do it? Because, to become successful, to be happy in life, to achieve our dreams and desires. Now let's see the next slide. What is the importance of personality development? Why should a person try to develop his personality? Why it is required? Why can't we just live like the way we have lived all our life? Why do we need to change our? Why do we need to change certain things about ourselves? So let's see what is the importance of personality development. Why we should invest time on developing our personality. So you become happier. So when you have a personality that is enhanced, that is loved by many, then definitely that will make you happier, that will satisfy you. So that is why it is important to develop our personality. It basically will make you happier. Then your relationships improve both with yourself and others. So your relationship will improve with yourself, so there's a relationship with ourselves as well. So I, as a person, should have a relationship with me as well. So it is going to develop my relationship with myself and also with others, because if you develop your personality, because if you learn to develop your personality, then you'll also learn to develop the relationships with yourself and with the people around you. Next is you learn new things. So in this path, you learn a lot of new things. You will, because you are not a person who is rigid, who is not stuck at one point. So you are someone who is exploring new ideas, is exploring new things. So that is why you will, in this journey, you are going to learn a lot of new things, and that is going to definitely be beneficial for you. Next is you live better. So then you can live a better life. You will not be sad, will not be depressed, because you are now a happy person, because you are learning new things, because you have a good relationship with yourself and with the others, with your loved ones, and definitely you'll have a better life, isn't it? Then next is you are better able to adapt to changes. Now, because you are not rigid, you are flexible. Now you can you can adapt to changes. There are people who cannot adapt to changes because they are rigid, because they are too rigid, and they are happy in staying at one position with certain number of people, and they're happy doing that, and they cannot like adjust in new environments. But life is always a challenge, isn't it? So we need to be able to adapt to changes, and if we develop our personality, we'll be able to do that. The next is you are able to make decisions and solve problems better. So it'll be a good decision maker, and also it'll be a good problem solver if you develop your personality. Next is it'll be healthier. So when you develop your personality, you also develop a healthy lifestyle. So that is going to definitely help you to enhance your personality, and that is also one of the importance of personality developments, that now you are healthier, you are living a healthy lifestyle. Next is you are likely to reach your goals. Now you'll be able to achieve your goals. You will be able to fulfill your desires. So if you develop your personality, you will be able to definitely achieve whatever you want in life. Next is you inspire others. Now, if you are someone who is confident, if you are someone who is happy, if you are someone who is excelling, who is like learning a lot of new things, who knows a lot of things, then you are going to inspire a lot of other people, and like other people will learn from you, and it'll motivate others to develop their own personalities, do good in life. So you can become an inspiration as well. Next is you become more aware. So you become aware of a lot of things. You become aware about yourself. You become aware about your surroundings and a lot of things. You are now a more aware person than you were earlier. So when you develop your personality, so then definitely you will be an aware person. Next is you understand your strengths and weaknesses. Now, this is another very important part. You need to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. You need to accept it as well. So, but before that, you need to understand it. What are your strengths and weaknesses? All right. So, as I had said, in the beginning of the session, that we have different strengths and weaknesses. How will you know what is your strength? What is your weakness? You will know it when you analyze it. When you have an analysis. So then you will understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Then you can use both, like you can use your strengths, and then you can try to get rid of your weaknesses, and that's how you can become successful in life. So first of all, you need to understand yourself, you need to analyze yourself, and then understand yourself. And when you have when you have learned a lot of skills in life, and when you are a person who has a very good personality, who has worked on his personality, then definitely in this process, you'll also learn a lot about yourself, and definitely you'll understand your strengths and weaknesses. So this is another very important part of personality development. Then more opportunities. All right. So opportunity is something that is also necessary, isn't it? It is necessary because we need opportunities in life. Otherwise, how will we grab it? Sometimes we have to create opportunities, but sometimes we need to grab the external opportunities. So you will be aware of the opportunities around you. You will be aware of your strengths, your weaknesses. Along with that, you'll be aware of the opportunities. And the next point is you'll know about the threats. You'll also be aware about the threats. So with opportunities, you'll also face a lot of threats. There'll also be a lot of threats around you. So you will also know about the threats. So accordingly, you can perform. Next, overcome fear. You can overcome a lot of fear, and you can evaluate, you can just you can evolve, you can you need to just analyze what are your fears. When you are analyzing your weaknesses, you'll also come to know what are your fears. So you'll be able to, after you analyze your fears, after you analyze your weaknesses, you'll have an idea how to get rid of it. You have to work on it, and then you'll be definitely able to overcome your fears. Next is you will discover yourself. So you will see a new person. You will discover a new you. All right. So most of us, what we do, most of the time, we will just notice other people. We are much interested in others' life, and we will always notice other people. So in general also, it like if I ask you now that tell me about your 3 bad habits and your 3 good habits. Now you'll have to think about it. You'll have to think about it for a long time. But as soon as I ask you, what are your brother's 3 good habits and brother's 3 bad habits, you'll be able to instantly answer it. Why? Because you know about your brother. You have noticed him. So that is why you'll be able to answer it instantly. Whereas you won't be able to answer it instantly about yourself. But why this has happened? Because we generally do not analyze ourselves, and we analyze the other people around us. We analyze the surrounding, we analyze the external things rather than analyzing us. So that is why it is important to analyze ourselves along with the environment, along with the other people. So that is why when you develop certain skills, you will discover a new you. So that's how you will become happy, you'll become healthy, you will improve your relationships with others, you will become a better person, you'll live a good lifestyle, you'll be able to take decisions and solve problems, and you'll also be able to reach your goals. So these are some of the importance of personality development. I hope you have understood. Next is how to develop our personality. So I had told you about the importance of personality development. Now let me tell you, how are you supposed to do it? How are you supposed to enjoy the perks of personality development? First of all, you need to develop your personality. Then only you can enjoy the perks. Then only you can become happy. Then only you can live a healthier lifestyle. Then only you can achieve your goals. So how will you develop your personality? So I have listed some of the points and you can use this to develop your personality. So first of all, analyze yourself. So you need to analyze yourself to develop your personality. Without analyzing yourself, you won't be able to develop your personality. Next is accept your flaws. You need to accept the way you are. You need to accept your flaws. We are human beings. We definitely have flaws. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And mark my words, when I'm saying this, none of us are perfect. We are all human beings and we are imperfect, but we need to accept our flaws, we need to accept our imperfection and stop being perfect. So after you analyze yourself, you need to understand yourself and you need to accept the flaws. Certain things you won't be able to change about yourself and certain things definitely you'll be able to change about yourself. The things which you cannot change, you should not, those things shouldn't bother you, and the things which you can change, you should work on those things. So that is why it's very important to accept the way you are. You should accept yourself and change for the better. It shouldn't make you it shouldn't make you depressed. It shouldn't make you frustrated. It shouldn't decrease your self-esteem. It should always increase your confidence. It should always your personality, your the way you are, it should always make you happy. It should always help you to solve any situation, any problem in your life. So that is why, how are you supposed to do that? You have to accept yourself, accept your flaws and move on in life. Next is develop your communication skills. So communication is very important in terms of personality development. So if you are not a good communicator, if you are not someone who cannot talk properly, who is not a good speaker, who is not a good listener, then definitely it'll stay behind. So that is why you need to develop your communication skills in order to develop your personality. So communication skills includes oral communication, includes written communication, includes listening skills, and also includes non-verbal communication, that is body language, facial expression. So we need to work on all these areas and that is going to develop our personality. Next is learn time management. So time is very important. Time is a valuable resource, isn't it? So time and tide waits for none. All of you have heard this, isn't it? So time never waits for anyone. So we need to understand the value of life, value of time, and we need to know how to manage time. So when you learn time management, it will definitely help you to develop your personality. Next is learn how to deal with anxiety or stress. So now stress and anxiety, anger, these are some of the things that we cannot remove from our life. We cannot just say that stress don't come, anxiety don't arrive, tension don't come. We cannot say like that. At any moment we can be stressed, at any moment we can be tensed, at any moment we can face certain situations which will make us stressed, which will make us tensed. We cannot stop it, but we can learn how to deal with these things. We can learn how to manage, we can learn how to control our emotions, we can learn how to control stress, how to control anxiety, how to control anger, and that's how we'll be able to develop our personality. Next is carry a positive attitude. So positive attitude optimistic nature, so it's very important. So if you are a positive person, if you can think positively, if you can think positively in even in a negative situation, then you are going to definitely win. So that is why you must carry a positive attitude. You must always think positively about the things around you, and that will definitely help you to develop your personality. It will, also help you to become a better person. All right, next is motivate yourself. So you need to constantly motivate yourself. Motivation is very necessary in our life. It's a necessity. Motivation is a necessity. I will not just say that sometimes we should motivate ourselves. No, not sometimes. We should continuously motivate ourselves. It's a necessity. Like we need oxygen, like we need water, like we need food, we need motivation as well. So you need to constantly motivate yourself. So motivation can also come from external sources, but you cannot rely on external sources. Definitely, when your parents come and motivate you, when your sister comes and motivate you, when your friends motivate you, when when you see people around you doing great things and that particular situation motivates you, definitely that is also something that is necessary in our life. But sometimes you might not find any external source, so that is why self motivation is very necessary. So along with external sources of motivation, you should constantly motivate yourself so that you are not depressed, so that you are not frustrated, so that you are not sad, so that you can be happy. So that is why self motivation is necessary. Next is learn how to adapt to changes. So you must learn how to adapt to changes. If you are a rigid person, you won't be able to develop your personality. You must understand and you must try to adapt to changes. You must try to become flexible, and in that manner you can develop your personality and enjoy the benefits of personality development. Then next is to learn the etiquette. So there are different etiquettes like dining etiquettes, dressing etiquettes, work etiquettes. There are a lot of etiquettes. So you need to learn all the etiquettes. You need to understand all the etiquettes. For example, dressing etiquette. So dressing etiquette is something the way you should dress up. The rules and regulations. Basically, etiquette means the rules and regulations. So if you know the rules and regulations of dressing, if you know the rules and regulations of a workplace, if you know the rules and regulations of how to behave when you are having lunch, basically dining etiquette, so then definitely that is going to enhance your personality, that is going to make you a better person. So you must learn the etiquettes in order to develop your personality. Next is set goals. So we need goals in our life. Without goals, it's our life is not worthy. So we need to set goals. So if you have not set any goals yet, quickly you need to set goals for yourself, because it's high time. Because it's high time and you need certain goals in life so as to move ahead. If you don't have any goal, if you don't have any destination, where are you moving, where are you going? If I don't have any dream, where am I moving? Where am I going? So for example, if you want to go somewhere and you don't know where, you don't know where, you don't have any idea where do you want to go, you just take out your bike or your car and you just go out, and he'll be unsure about the path, he'll be unsure about the destination. So that is why you must set goals in order to choose the correct path. So goals, there are short-term goals, there are long-term goals. So long-term goals are something 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, what do you want to achieve in life? And short-term goals are something every now and then we have, like I want to buy that bag, I want to buy that pair of jeans, I want to go to the movie in the weekend, I want to meet my friends, I want to score good in my sessional, I want to score good in my semester exams, I want to buy that book and read that book. So these are short-term goals. So goals can be personal as well as career oriented. All right, but you must have goals. And if you have not yet set any goals for yourself, set a goal for yourself. A short-term as well as a long-term goal is very necessary in our life, and not necessary that you should have only one goal. You can have multiple goals at a time. Then be honest and trustworthy. So if you are an honest person and if you are someone whom others can trust, definitely others will love you, others will love your personality, and that's how you are a person who becomes reliable, a person, you can, in that way you can become a better human being, and therefore you can develop your personality by being honest and by being trustworthy. Next is respect everyone. So respect is another very important thing. So we need to respect everyone, no matter what, the person is from, no matter, how he looks, how he or she looks, where he or she is from. We need to respect every individual. So that's also a very important part of our personality. Learn to respect everyone and, everything around you. Dress appropriately. Now this is also another important part of personality development. If you don't dress up properly, then your personality, the other people who will look at you, the other people who will come across, who will meet you, won't be impressed. The first thing when you meet people, what do you see? What the person is wearing, isn't it? I am not saying that dress appropriately doesn't mean that you need to wear expensive things, you need to wear expensive trousers, you need to wear expensive dresses. No, that is not the situation. What you need to do is you need to wear, though you need to wear clean clothes, you need to wear pressed clothes, so that you look good. So looking good is also another part of our personality. It has nothing to do with your figure, it has nothing to do with your face. Okay, it's totally dependent upon how you portray yourself, what are you wearing, whether you are carrying your whether you're being able to carry yourself or not. So it is related, your personality is related to that, not it is not related to like how you look. Good looking is not related to how you look. What is your height? A short person can also look good, a fat person can also look good, a person who has scars on the face can also look good, can definitely look good. A person who has scars on the body, that person can also look good. But how are you supposed to do that? How a person can look good? By portraying himself or herself in a positive manner, by wearing something good. And good doesn't mean expensive, good means something that is clean, good means something that is pressed. So, and also you need to dress appropriately for particular situation. So if you are going for an interview and if you are wearing a lehenga choli, that is not going to help you. You are wearing a kurta pajama for an interview, so that is not the appropriate dress that you should wear for an interview. So it also depends upon the situation, it also depends upon the occasion. All right, so accordingly you need to dress up. Then be responsible. Responsibility is something that we should not run away from. We should be responsible and we should be able to take responsibilities, and that is going to develop our personality. Then next is maintain a healthy diet. So how will you live, as I had said in the importance of personality. So you become healthier. How will you become healthier? When you maintain a healthy diet. So you need to eat fresh, you need to eat clean, you need to eat fresh, you need to eat good food, healthy food. It does not mean that you cannot, like you all are young, it does not mean that healthy, if I'm telling that you need to eat healthy, that does not mean that you have to avoid all the fast food, all the junk food. Yes, definitely you can go and have go and have pizza, definitely you can go and have burger or KFC chicken or anything, whatever you like, but there has to be a limit. You should always balance your diet. Next is personal hygiene. So it is very important. The personal hygiene is very necessary. You need to shower every day. You need to brush your teeth every day. You need to look fresh every day. You shouldn't smell bad. You should use you should use deodorant so that you smell good. And you should wash your clothes. You should shower every day. I have seen a lot of people, a lot of students specifically, they don't take a shower in the morning. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take a shower every morning. All right. And like students who stay in hostel, it's a little difficult for them because like in the morning it's quite a rush. So that's why when I interact with students, they tell me that, ma'am, like there was a rush, and because of that I could not take a shower in the morning. That's why I go back to home and then take a shower. So there might be certain those kind of conditions as well, but you need to figure out how are you going to solve that problem. But you need to keep yourself clean, keep your clothes clean. You need to look clean. So you need to maintain your personal hygiene. Then only you can be able to develop your personality. So personality development is not only related to like habits or hobbies or characteristics, qualities, lifestyle. It is all about our life. When you develop your personality, you are also becoming a better human being. You are becoming a better human being. So if you want to become a good human being, a responsible person, and you need to develop your personality. And how are you going to do it? I have listed all the points. I have listed not all. I know there are other ways as well. Most of the points I have listed, and you can use these ways to develop your personality. And definitely, if you start doing this today, then definitely you'll be able to develop your personality and become a better human being, and also become successful, be happy, and be satisfied, and also achieve success in life. Now, uh, you need to ask few questions to yourself. Okay, now I have told you about personality. I have told you the components of personality. I have also told you the different types of personality. I have also asked you to figure out which personality you have, whether you are an introvert, whether you are an extrovert, or whether you are an ambivert. I have also told you what is the importance. I have also told you what is the importance of personality development, why personality development is required, what is personality development, and how to develop your personality. Now, I want you to ask yourself few questions. So you can see the questions in the next slide. So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Where is your energy naturally directed? So the first question is, where is your energy naturally directed? So ask yourself this question. What motivates you? Where do you like to stay? What makes you feel active? When do you feel happy? What are the things that boost up your energy level? What are the things, what are the situations which make you feel happy, where you feel comfortable? So just think. I want you to think and write down in the comments section. Where is your energy naturally directed? So are you someone who likes to stay with people? Are you someone who likes to stay away from people? Are you someone who loves to travel? Are you someone whose energy boosts up when you see motivational videos? Are you someone who can stay alone and then also be happy? So I want you all to answer this question. Where is your energy naturally directed? All right, I can see. I can see few answers. Okay, keep on answering that. Moving on to the next question because we don't have much time left. So moving on to the next question. What kind of information do you naturally notice and remember? So in our life, we come across a lot of things, isn't it? We come across a lot of things in our life and we notice only a few, isn't it? We notice only a few and we remember only, just one or sometimes nothing. So in a day, we come across a lot of things, isn't it? And out of all those things, we'll only notice a few. For example, today I have noticed 10 things out of 100 things that I have come across. And at the end of the day, I just remember two things, and after a week I just remember one thing. So what kind of information do you naturally notice, detail oriented or something that is very creative or innovative? Do you like something that is related to creativity, that is related to innovation, or are you someone who likes something which is detail oriented? So what kind of information do you naturally notice and remember? So ask yourself this question: what are the things that you naturally notice? What attracts you? What are the things that attracts you? And what are the things that you remember? So that is also a part of your personality. Okay, so next question is, how do you decide or come to conclusion? So this is another very important question that you should ask yourself, because decision making is a very important part of our life. At some point or the other, we have to take certain decisions, isn't it? So that is why we should be able to understand how to take decisions and how to come to conclusions. So what kind of a person are you? How do you take decisions? How do you come to conclusions? So you need to ask this question to yourself again. So you are going to get the answer. You are going to get the answer, and that is going to help you to understand yourself. That is going to help you to develop yourself, to like analyze and to figure out what you should do in life. So how do you take decisions, or how do you come to conclusions? This is another important question that you should ask yourself. Next is, what kind of environment makes you feel comfortable? So where do you feel comfortable? So this is also another question that you need to ask yourself, that what makes you feel comfortable? Where do you feel comfortable? Do you feel comfortable like when your friends are around, or you feel comfortable in your own room? Are you comfortable when you meet new people, or are you like not comfortable at all? So what kind of environment makes you feel comfortable? This is another question that you need to ask yourself. So basically, these are the 4 questions that I want to ask, that I want you to ask yourself. So what you can do is, you can just take the screenshot. Okay, this is going to help you in the future as well. So you can take the screenshot of this, and you can just keep it with yourself, and then later on as well, you can figure out these things, and you can also analyze. Like for a week, you can analyze yourself. What is your where is your energy naturally directed? So you can figure out. So for a week, just observe yourself. What are the things that motivates you? What are the things that what are the things that boost up your energy? Then the next thing is, what kind of information do you naturally notice and remember? So for a week, you just figure it out. You just observe things that and you just at the end of the week, you'll come to know what are the things you have noticed naturally and what are the things you have remembered. So we generally, as I had already said, that we generally notice a lot of things in our life, but we generally come across a lot of things in our life, notice only like 20% and remember only 1%, and that 1% is a part of our personality. So what kind of information do you naturally notice? Just like observe this for 1 week. Then how do you decide or come to conclusions? So just think that if you have to take certain decision, how are you supposed to take the decision? Like most of you, I guess most of you are from different states and different districts of Assam. So like you have decided to take to study in Assam Downtown University. Why have you taken the decision? So think about that. So how have you decided? What is the reason behind that? And the ones, even the ones who are from Guwahati, even you can ask yourself that question, that why have you why have you chosen Assam Downtown University? Why do you want to be a part of this university? Just you can just ask yourself several questions, and understand how do you, on the basis of what do you take decision. Are you someone who will just abruptly take a decision? Are you someone who have abruptly taken any decision in the past, or are you someone who just thinks and takes a decision? All right, next is, what kind of environment makes you feel comfortable? So just analyze what makes you feel comfortable. Where do you feel comfortable? Are you bored being alone? Are you bored staying at home, or do you like enjoy your alone time? Do you enjoy being around your family, being around your friends, or no, you just want to avoid the crowd? What kind of environment makes you feel happy, makes you feel comfortable? So these are the 4 questions you ask yourself and figure out. For 1 week you can observe, and then you'll have the answers. Even if you don't have the answers now, some of the answers, you might have some of the answers, but for some things, like what kind of information do you naturally notice? And remember, for this thing, for this question especially, I want you to observe like yourself for another 1 week, and then it'll come to know what are the things that you naturally notice, not intentionally, but what are the things you naturally notice. So at the end of the week, then you'll come to know what have you remembered, what have you noticed, and what have you remembered. So I just want you all to understand yourself in a better way. Accept yourself, accept your flaws, accept the way you are, be happy, and always try to learn new things in life. Always try to accept changes. Always be flexible. Always be flexible. So I hope that this session was useful, and I hope that you have understood what is personality development, and I hope you have also understood what kind of a person you are. Are you an introvert, are you an extrovert, or are you an ambivert? So as I had said in the beginning, I will go back to the first slide. So the objective of this session, how will this session help you? So I had said that it will give you an understanding about your unique personality type. So I am sure by now you know what kind of a person you are. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you an ambivert? So I'm sure you know what kind of a person you are. Then I had also said that they'll come to know about the ability to figure out your responsiveness to different situations and people. So everything, everything in our life revolves around our introvert personality, our extrovert personality. It always revolves around these 2 things. So if you are an extrovert, then definitely it'll be calm, composed. It'll take time to take a decision. It'll think and then act. And if you're an extrovert, it'll be like in a hurry. It'll always be in a hurry. So it'll be someone who would be taking decisions at first and then thinking about that. So I am sure now you know how do you take decisions, how do you respond to different situations and different people. Are you like when you meet people, how do you treat them? Do you talk to them, or you just like stay away from them? So if there is a situation and you like you have to solve certain problem, will you run away from that problem, or will you be someone who will try to solve that problem? So I'm sure you'll be able to understand that as well. Your attitude towards different situations and different people. The next was means to positively apply our unique traits in any given situation. So now I am sure you have understood how you are supposed to use your qualities, use your unique qualities in different types of situations. So how you can handle the situation, how you can take yourself positively. You might have certain qualities that you might think that this is something so weird, but no, that is a quality that the other person does not have. So you need to positively apply your unique, you need to always positively apply your unique qualities in any given situation. So I hope this session will help you to do that, to use your unique qualities, to use your qualities to solve any problem, to handle any kind of situation, and like how are you supposed to act in a particular situation. Then the next is, we'll stop emulating and make a conscious effort to be ourselves. So as I had also said, that we always need to be ourselves, not anybody else. I cannot be Aishwarya Rai, isn't it? If I always like compare myself with Aishwarya Rai, will I be able to become Deepika Padukone? No, I am unique in my own ways, I'm special in my own ways. So are you, so is everybody. That is why you need to always make an effort to be ourselves, not someone else. We should not try to wear a mask, that you should not try to be somebody else. You should be the person you are, and you should be proud of that, and you should be and you should proudly accept that. And I hope these objectives of the sessions has been fulfilled, and now you have a better understanding about your personality, and now you will be able to handle situations in a more mature manner, and now you know what kind of a person you are, and now you know that you are special. So that's all about personality development. I hope all of you have understood. If you have any questions, I will just check the chat box. If I see any question, that I'll answer, and like if you have any question, then you can drop that as well. Yes, Ritukpanna Kashyap says that none of us are perfect. Okay, your example is good. Even Dettol kills 99% germs. Yes, exactly. Nothing is perfect, and we should stop trying to be perfect. And that's how we can become successful. That's how we can become achieve, that's how we can accept ourselves. That's how we can become happy. If we try to be perfect, then that is definitely going to make us sad, because we cannot be perfect. Okay, Lucky Star Talang says, ma'am, please stop repeating you know. So is my favorite word. So that is why I have kept on. So I keep on using Zyrene Diaz. I am not sure whether I'm like pronouncing your name correctly or not. Zyrene Diaz. So like you have said that, like everything that has stated relates you to the introvert personality, and some of the points of ambiverts are also, it also matches your personality, and now you're confused. So then you're an ambivert. Okay, so when you're confused, that means you're an ambivert. What may happen to those person who takes decision by hearing someone's thought or idea? All right. Sometimes it can help and sometimes it can be dangerous as well. It depends upon the information. It depends upon the particular person, whether he is sharing a good idea or whether he is sharing something that is going to harm you. So it depends upon the other person's information. So you need to figure out that whether you need to take decision depending upon that information or not. You need to analyze and then take the decision, because when you are taking a decision, it's totally your choice. It's totally your choice. So that is why if you are getting external information, so it's your responsibility to basically figure it out, to analyze and then see that whether it is going to help you or not, and then take the correct decision. Sometimes it might, as I had already said, that sometimes it might be the information might be helpful and sometimes the information might not be helpful. So that is why you need to figure it out yourself, that whether it is going to help you or not, whether that information is worthy or not, whether that idea is beneficial or not. So you have to analyze, then you need to like find out the way, and it's your choice. At the end of the day, it's your choice. So if you have any other questions, you can ask me. Okay, I will wait for another 5 minutes. Let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, I feel uncomfortable with girls to speak. I am not very clear about what are you talking with, youth. You're not comfortable to speak, to study. So what I have understood, Vidyut, is like you feel uncomfortable to interact with girls and you do not feel comfortable to study with girls. Be in the same classroom with girls, maybe? You want to mean that? There are a lot of people, Vidyut, who like does not feel comfortable to talk to the opposite gender. So there are a lot of people, but how can you like break that barrier? You can break that barrier only when you try. Only when you will try, then only you'll be able to break the barrier. I'm sure when you'll start talking with your friends in your classroom, definitely you'll be able to break the barrier. Start interacting with people, so that's how you can change the way. Otherwise you won't be able to. If you don't start, then if you don't try, then you won't be able to do that. Okay, ma'am, how to behave with someone who is rude by nature? Okay, if you meet a rude person, do not be rude to that person. All right, if you meet a rude person and you are also rude to him, then definitely you are going to have an argument, and you'll have a fight, a big fight. So that is why avoid such kind of people. Or if you have to interact with such kind of people, then make minimum interactions. Do not just go for interacting with that person for too long. That is going to piss you off. That is going to frustrate you. So that is why just try to avoid this kind of people. And if you have to interact with this kind of people, and if you don't have any other choice, then you can just keep your conversation minimum. And do not ever try to be rude. If someone, even if someone is rude to you, do not try to be rude. You can answer to that person properly, and without being rude, you can also be good to him, and you can have an interaction. So then the other person, when the other person will see your goodness, and the other person will see that you are so polite, you have interacted with him so nicely, the other person will automatically be ashamed, and might be he or she will change the behavior. And if not, then just avoid those kind of people, because you won't be able to change a lot of things in life. So you won't be able to, you can change yourself, but you won't be able to change the behavior of other people. You won't be able to change the way others behave. So that is why if you face such kind of people, then just keep the interaction minimum. And if you can, just avoid those kind of people. But do not engage in an argument. Do not just involve yourself in an argument. Do not get into any argument or any fight. Okay, how to interact or talk to such people who ignore us? The people who ignore you, they might not be interested on you, or they might not like you. So that is why like, if it is necessary to talk to them, then you definitely have to find out ways. But if it is unnecessary, if somebody is ignoring you, and if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, you shouldn't force that person to talk to you. Okay, for personal reasons, you shouldn't force that person to talk to you. If somebody is not interested in having a conversation with you, and if somebody does not want to talk to you, then you to ignore that person. That's the simple way. And if you have to like work with that person, or if you have to if you have to interact with that person on a regular basis, then you can figure out ways to interact with that person. Just talk about work. If it is whatever it is, if you are a colleague, if that person is your colleague, then you just talk about work, nothing personal. And if there is someone who is avoiding in you, in your personal life, so then that means that person is not interested to you, and not interested on you. And you must understand who wants to talk to you, who does not want to talk to you, and you need to act accordingly. You can't force anyone to behave properly. You can't force anyone to be good to you. You can't force anyone to interact with you or have a conversation with you. If somebody is trying to ignore you, if somebody is intentionally trying to ignore you, you can just avoid that person, because that person is not interested to talk to you. That person is intentionally ignoring you just because that person is not at all interested to talk to you. And if it is work related, then you can just talk about work, What you do is talk about work and then just leave. You don't have to interact. Deepam Jyoti Saikya, why you ignore my comment? Thank you, ma'am. You have okay, Deepam. Thank you so much. I have not ignored. Okay, Balo Batang. I like to stay alone without friends or family members. So, am I safe? No, you are not. You are because you don't like to stay around people. You like to stay alone. So, you are an introvert. Basically, you are an introvert. But safety, as in, I'm not understanding. Oh, so I am safe. Why have you Why have you asked that question? Am I safe? But being alone cannot guarantee you any kind of safety. Okay, so being around people is quite, it's quite good. If you are someone who does not like to talk to people, if you are someone who likes to stay alone, you should develop interacting with people, because you are going to need that. You need to communicate with people, and that's how you can develop your personality. If you are someone who is introvert, you need to try to change certain things about yourself. You need to try to certain You need to learn certain skills like communication skills, so that you can communicate with people properly, so that you can interact with people properly whenever necessary. Otherwise, you can be happy in your own space. Nobody is going to disturb you. But if you need it, but you are not being able to do it because you are a shy person, because you are not comfortable, then you will be someone, you'll be someone who will not get any benefits. So that is why it is necessary to learn communication. It is necessary to learn how to communicate properly with people. So whenever it is necessary, you can communicate. So that whenever it is necessary, you can communicate. All right. How to motivate those? Sensei asks, how to motivate those who are not aware about his or her child's health. How to motivate those who are not aware about his or her child's health. You need to talk. You need to basically talk and try to explain that person that your son, your daughter, your child is not doing well. You need to try to talk to that person. You need to try to convince that person that your child is not doing good, and he's not having a good health. He is having some health issues. So you need to be able to talk to those kind of people and try to interact with them properly. Try to convince them in a simple language, in a very simple language. Try to just convince them. Okay, Vidyut Kalita, ma'am, I like to stay alone. Is it good or bad? So if you like to stay alone, it's okay. It's nothing like, it's not bad. You cannot say that if you want to stay alone, that if somebody is staying alone, somebody likes to stay alone, prefers to stay alone, it's not a bad habit. It's his or her own choice. So if you like to stay alone, it's your choice. It's your way of living your life. But whenever it is necessary, whenever you need to communicate, but yet you're not communicating, then it is going to hamper you. So at that moment, you need to communicate. Otherwise, it's all fine. It's all right. Now, it's okay if you are staying alone, if you like to stay alone, if you prefer to spend time with yourself, it's okay. But whenever it is necessary, but you are not being able to do it, then it's a problem. So you need to learn communication, so you need to learn certain things, so you need to learn certain skills, so that whenever it is necessary, you can do that. Otherwise, nobody is going to question you, nobody is going to judge you. Okay, Kesang Lahmo. I feel nervous and sometimes stuck when asked to introduce myself. How can I deal with this awkward situation? So I am taking the last question. I feel nervous and sometimes stuck when asked to introduce myself. How can I deal with this awkward situation? When somebody asks you to introduce uh, yourself, then you need to learn. First of all, you need to figure out what are the things you are going to say. Oh, all right. When you give your introduction, you need to first of all figure out what are the things you are going to include. Your name, your hometown, your qualification, the name of your last school or your college, the total number of family members, your hobbies. You need to figure out what are the things you should mention when you are providing your introduction. All right, so I would just like to say what are the things generally you need to say when you introduce yourself. First of all, name. You need to start with your name. If it's a formal introduction, then excuse me. So if it's a formal introduction, then start with your name and go for my name is. All right, if it is kind of informal, then you can use I am. Do not go for myself. I have seen a lot of people use myself, even experienced people, they use myself. But myself is actually, it's wrong. It's wrong, and you should not use myself in the beginning of the sentence. It's grammatically incorrect. So that is why myself should be avoided. Either you say my name is or I am. All right, say your name, then where have you come from, the hometown, then your qualification, the name of your school, college, and if you're pursuing a course. Now you're a student of Assam Downtown University, so you can just say that. And if you're giving your introduction in your classroom, so now being first semester students, when you give your introduction in front of the teachers, in front of the students, in front of your classmates, then you're supposed to mention the name of your last school and the college. So mention the number of your family members. If it's a small family, like there are only 4 members in the family, then what you can do is just you can just say that I have my parents and my sister or my brother back at home. If the number of family members is more, for example 6, 7, 8, 9, so then you can just stick to the numbers. So I have 5 members in my family, I have 10 members in my family, you can include that. Then tell about your hobbies. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Then you can also share your skills or abilities. What are you good at? If you are someone who likes to interact with people, that is also a skill. If you are someone who likes to create new things, so create new things. If you are innovative, so that is also another skill, you can share that. So these are the few basic things that you should tell when you are introducing yourself. And if you feel nervous, why are you feeling nervous? Because you are not prepared, because you are not ready, and maybe you are an introvert person. So that is why figure out the things. First of all, write down everything in your copy, in a piece of paper, or maybe in your mobile phones. Write down everything, and then just learn how to tell. Check yourself on the mirror, go in front of the mirror, practice it, and in that way you can overcome that fear. This is basically a fear of speaking in front of the public. This is basically your shy nature, so that is why you feel uncomfortable. So what you're supposed to do, write down all the points that I have mentioned, then practice it. Go in front of the mirror, you can practice it, record your voice, listen to your voice. How are you expressing about yourself? How are you expressing your thoughts? How are you telling about yourself? And then if you have someone at home who can accompany you, like suppose your mother, your father, your friend, your sister, your brother, you can ask him to come and ask you the same question. Introduce yourself, give me your introduction, and try to give your introduction. And in that way, you are one day going to be able to, give your introduction properly. So keep on practicing until and unless you don't practice, you won't be able to overcome anything. And practicing will definitely help, and also implementing it. So personality development is not something that you have to memorize. It's all about implementation. Okay, you have to implement. You cannot memorize. You need to implement it in your day-to-day life. You need to learn and then implement. You cannot learn communication skills like you cannot by heart it. Okay, like listening skills. What is listening skills? Speaking skills, and you're not applying it in your life. That is just the theoretical knowledge you'll have, not the practical one. So once you learn, once you learn these new things, you need to also apply it. You need to utilize it. You need to use it so that you can become comfortable, so that you can be comfortable, as well as so that you are someone who can overcome such kind of fears, so that you can overcome your fears. All right. Okay, Kesang Lamu, I guess I'm clear. I have suddenly anxiety attacks before I have to introduce myself or speak in front of a class. How do I stop worry about? Do not think about the other people. Do not think. So as I had already said that, stop being perfect. Do not think about other people. Do not think about other people. Do not think what others are thinking. Just concentrate on your own thing. If you are asked to introduce yourself, just do that thing. Do not think about others. When you start thinking about others, how the others are going to react, others might laugh. That doesn't matter, See, again, I have said, and that doesn't matter. Does not make me nervous. All right. So it should not make you nervous. There are lots of people in the world. There are every individual has different characteristics. So you cannot control the emotion, you cannot control the reactions of other people, you cannot control the way the others think. What you can do is you can control yourself, you can control the way you behave, you can control your own attitude, you can improve yourself. So whenever you are delivering a speech, whenever you're introducing yourself, introduction is a very small part. Okay, when you're delivering a speech, when you're performing in front of an audience, it's just you, and do not think about any other people. You shouldn't think about anyone else in the who are looking at you. No, people laugh at you when you're giving your introduction. People might laugh at you. That does not matter. That definitely does not matter. What matters is whether you are being able to introduce yourself or not, whether you are being able to complete the task or not. So that's what matters. What opinion, the opinions does not matter. At the end of the day, if you are happy, if you are satisfied with yourself, that's it. And whenever you are speaking, whenever you are delivering a speech, whatever, 1 line, 2 line, a speech of 10 page, 20 pages, whenever you are delivering a speech, whenever you are in front of the public, do not think what the other people are thinking. That's what stops us from, delivering our speech properly. They might laugh, they might talk, they might not even listen to you. So that doesn't matter. You concentrate on what you are supposed to do. I like to dance. Surajit says I like to dance, but my parents does not. But my parents don't allow to. What do I do, ma'am? All right, you try to convince your parents. No, dance is a great profession nowadays, and it's something that is so beautiful. You know, you're talented. If you can dance, then it's an art. It's something very beautiful. So convince your parents, try to show why dance is important for you and how a good dancer you are. Try to show them, try to convince them. Only, okay, everyone, then that's all for today. Okay, I'm facing a network issue actually. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. If you can listen to me, thank you, everyone. It means a lot. I have read most of the comments. I have gone through most of the comments. Thank you, everyone, for all the appreciation. It means a lot. I hope this session helps you in the future, and we shall meet soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day ahead. Take care of yourself and your family. Thank you very much. if you can see me or hear me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.